Everybody's heard of Angry Birds. It's an incredibly successful mobile game, movie, and even TV show. But what happened to Angry Birds, and why are their games being deleted from the App Store? In this video, we will be exploring the rise and potential end of Angry Birds. Angry Birds was published by a company now known as Rovio Entertainment, a Finnish game development company based in Espoo, Finland. And in early 2009, they were in a state of bankruptcy, so the staff began viewing proposals for potential games. One such proposal came in the form of a simulated screenshot featuring some angry looking birds with no visible legs or wings. While it wasn't much use in terms of a game proposal, the staff liked the characters and they elected to design a game around them. A major factor as to why Angry Birds became a reality was that in early 2009, physics games such as Crush the Castle were rather popular, and the Rovio team were likely inspired by these games. Fun fact: during the development of Angry Birds, the staff realised the birds needed a target to aim at, and at the time, the swine flu epidemic was in the news, so the developers made the birds' enemies pigs. Anyway, Angry Birds was soft launched in Finland on December 1st, 2009, and was released internationally 10 days later. On its initial release, the game did not sell many copies, but after Angry Birds was a featured app on the UK App Store in February 2010, paired with the fact that the game was well received and highly praised by critics, it quickly reached the #1 spot on the paid apps chart on the US App Store by the middle of 2010, and managed to stay in that position for 275 days. And luckily for Rovio, it wouldn't be the last of its success. In October 2010, following the enormous success of the Angry Birds game, Rovio released Angry Birds Seasons. This was then followed by a collaboration with 20th Century Fox and Blue Sky Studio to bring us Angry Birds Rio, further bolstering the Angry Birds name. And then this was followed by Angry Birds Friends, Space, Bad Piggies, and more collaborations in the form of Angry Birds Star Wars 1 and 2. Then, there was a switch in the concept of the game, starting with a racing game, Angry Birds Go, and a role-playing game, Angry Birds Epic. They made a few more games before the release of the Angry Birds movie, which grossed, drumroll please, $352 million. But their success couldn't last forever. While Angry Birds is by no means dead, its success has certainly slowed down. This is likely attributed to their players simply growing up. Many of Angry Birds' players were born between 1990 and 2010, and most of these players have grown up and stopped playing Angry Birds. Luckily for Rovio, their game does appeal to some new players, and despite the slowing down of their success, the game still chugs along at a steady pace. Games being released such as Angry Birds Blast, Evolution and Match are aiming for a different audience from the original puzzle games. However, in early 2019, any game made before October 2014, excluding Angry Birds Friends, was delisted from the App Store, claiming it was for testing purposes. But later, it was announced that it was because they didn't have the resources needed to keep those games running with their older game engines, at least up to the standards of the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. A lot of people disagreed, and #BringBack2012 began trending on numerous social platforms to protest against Rovio's actions. On June 22nd, 2021, however, Rovio made an official statement that some of the classic games will be remade and will return to stores starting with the original game. The first of which was released on the 31st of March 2022. And soared to the top 3 in paid games across the globe. Fans were overjoyed to have the ability to replay the original Angry Birds, but for Android users the joy was short-lived, as the game was pulled from the App Store on February 23rd, 2023 due to the game's impact on their wider games portfolio. And on the Apple App Store, the game was renamed to Red's First Flight. Before we move on, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Anyway, back to the video. So, is the end near for Angry Birds? No. Well, probably not. While some of Angry Birds games are being removed from the App Store, I believe that their position as one of the most successful mobile games of all time is secure, for now. It is very possible that in the future Angry Birds ceases to exist, but I think that for now at least, the game is safe. Personally, I think that Angry Birds has a bit more power left to carry on for a while. Hopefully, the end is far, and more players will get to experience Angry Birds as we did. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!